The night sky above Ko was unusually dark, as if even the heavens feared what was about to unfold. A thin wind rustled the trees around Ko Academy, carrying with it an unsettling sense of anticipation. Issei Hayadu, the perennially unlucky yet stubbornly determined second-year student, felt a strange tingle coursing through his body. It wasn't the familiar surge of boosted gear awakening. It was something far more profound, something primordial. Issei had always been special. Even among devils, his growth was astonishing. Yet, until now, the truth of his origin had been a secret even he didn't know, a secret that would shatter the very foundations of his identity. Issei, you are no ordinary human, nor merely a devil. A voice echoed in his mind, soft yet commanding. It was a voice he had never heard before, yet somehow felt intimately familiar. What? Who's there? Issei whispered, scanning the darkened campus grounds. The air itself seemed to shimmer with latent power. I am Ophis, the voice revealed, a melodic resonance vibrating through his very soul. Your mother, in the sense the world understands. You are the vessel of my blood, the heir to my power. You were born to awaken a new era, a red dragon emperor unlike any before. Issei staggered backward. His pulse raced, not from fear, but from a strange, thrilling recognition. Memories not his own flashed before his eyes, oceans of power, celestial dragons, scales of light, and darkness intertwined. He felt an overwhelming presence. His bloodline was not that of a mere devil. Born to me? He asked, voice trembling with disbelief. But I'm just Issei Hayadu. I have a life here, friends. Rias, yes. Ophis' voice coiled around him like liquid fire. Your life here was necessary. To grow, to survive, to understand the world's fragility. But now, the truth cannot be hidden. Your blood is mine. You are the culmination of all my power and the vessel to bring balance, or destruction, to this world. A surge of energy erupted from Issei, knocking him to the ground. His boosted gear glowed, but it was different. No, it was far stronger. Crimson light enveloped him, and his dragon aura expanded exponentially. The ground cracked beneath him, trees splintering under the force of raw, awakening power. Rias Gremry, sensing the eruption of power, arrived moments later, her crimson hair flowing like liquid fire in the wind. Her eyes widened as she saw the impossible. Issei floating mid-air, bathed in a crimson and silver aura, wings of iridescent energy sprouting from his back. Issei, what is happening to you? She cried. I don't know. Issei shouted, his voice booming with unnatural resonance. It's like I can feel everything. The world, devils, dragons, even angels. I feel her. Ophis, Rias stepped forward, worry etched into every feature. You need to calm down. You can't control this yet, but Issei didn't listen. The awakening had begun. The red dragon emperor within him stirred, recognizing its true vessel. Memories, power, and the very essence of Ophis flowed into him. The sensation was intoxicating, exhilarating, and terrifying. He remembered his past battles, his struggles against the devils, angels, and the supernatural horrors of the world, but now they were nothing. He was no longer merely Issei Hayadu. He was something greater, a being whose existence could challenge gods and monsters alike. From the shadows of the Academy's grounds, a familiar yet ominous presence emerged. Surzek's Lucifer, his father in the devil realm, approached with cautious awe. Issei, I feel it too, this power, it surpasses anything even I have witnessed. You are not just a dragon, no, you are the embodiment of Ophis' will. Father! Issei struggled to speak, his mind swirling with the voices of countless dragons, devils, and celestial beings. I can feel everything, but why now? Why me? Because, Surzek said gravely, the world is on the brink of war. The remnants of the Chaos Dragons, Rogue Angels, and the Abyssal Forces have sensed the awakening. You, Issei, must claim your true identity to protect those you care about, and to survive. Suddenly, a blast of dark energy erupted from the edge of the school grounds. A group of rogue angels, led by an ancient, fallen being who called himself Seraphian, descended, their weapons gleaming under the moonlight. Their leader's voice rang like a death knell. The vessel of Ophis shall not rise. We will claim his power for the heavens. Issei clenched his fists. The boosted gear reacted instantly, but its energy now intertwined with Ophis' essence, evolving into a crimson, multidimensional dragon form. His aura expanded, flaring like a star about to explode. Rias! Father! I won't let them touch me! He roared. He struck the ground, sending a shockwave that shattered the angel's formation. The very air warped around him as the Red Dragon Emperor awakened fully for the first time in centuries. The battle began. Each punch Issei threw carried the weight of celestial and draconic power. Each strike of the angels was met with a barrier of crimson energy, absorbing their attacks as if they were nothing more than mist. Time seemed to slow around him. He could predict movements before they happened, feel the spiritual resonance of every being within a mile radius. Rias, Surzex, and even the attending devils and dragons watched in awe. This was no longer a mere battle, it was a cataclysm in motion. As the fight escalated, Issei's mind became a battlefield itself. Ophis' consciousness whispered constantly, guiding, teaching, sometimes pushing him beyond his limits. You are mine, Issei, yet your heart, your emotions, that is what makes you strong. Do not forget it. Yes. I am still me. I am Hayate Issei, he yelled, unleashing a new technique born from the fusion of boosted gear and Ophis power, a dragonic absolute break that tore a rift in the sky itself. The angels screamed as reality itself bent around the force of his strike. When the dust settled, the rogue angels lay defeated, scorched by a power they could never comprehend. Yet the cost was clear. The awakening had drawn attention from far beyond the human, devil, and dragon realms. Rias approached him cautiously, her hand trembling as she reached out. Issei, you're incredible. He floated down, wings retracting as the crimson glow dimmed slightly. I feel different. Strong, powerful, but scared. Scared of what I might become. Surzex placed a hand on his shoulder, solemn. Fear is natural, son. Even Ophis feared her power once. But you have the heart to master it. To protect. To fight for those you love. At that moment, a shadowy figure appeared in the distance, observing silently. A being whose name had been lost in legend, whose eyes burned with ambition and malice. So, the child of Ophis has awakened, it whispered. Interesting, very interesting indeed. Issei felt it too, a new threat, one that could challenge even his newfound powers. But he also felt something else, a fire of determination, a desire to protect those who mattered most, and a resolve to master the power flowing within him, no matter the cost. I am Issei Hayate. I am the son of Ophis, and I will not let anyone, no matter how powerful, take my life, my friends, or my world, he declared, his voice echoing across Ko. And with that, the true journey of the Red Dragon Emperor began. One that would shake the heavens, challenge the devils, angels, and dragons alike, and reveal secrets that even the world's most powerful beings dared not imagine. The night in Ko was unusually still. Even the sea seemed to hesitate, the waves lapping quietly against the shore as though sensing an impending change. Issei Hayate walked across the school grounds, unaware that this night would mark the end of his ordinary existence, and the birth of something unimaginable. It began as a subtle pulse within him, a warmth spreading from his chest to his limbs, like the awakening of a sleeping dragon. Boosted gear had long been a part of him, a source of pride and terror alike. But this was different. It was raw, unfiltered, vast. Something ancient called to him, resonating deep within his soul. Issei. A voice, both ethereal and undeniably familiar, whispered inside his mind. You are mine. He froze, looking around. The campus was deserted. The wind stirred, but nothing else moved. Who's there? He asked, voice trembling. I am Ophis, the voice said, melodious yet commanding. Your mother, though the term is insufficient. You are my blood, my legacy. You are the vessel of my power. Issei staggered backward, falling to his knees as the words sank in. What? That's impossible. His mind reeled. Ophis, the dragon god of infinity? The being whose power rivaled the gods themselves, and she claimed him as her son? Yes. Ophis' voice resonated like a symphony of countless scales and wings. You were born to this world not as an ordinary human, not merely as a devil, but as my heir. The world will soon test you, and only by awakening can you survive, and protect those you cherish. The air around him shimmered, the ground trembling beneath his feet. A brilliant crimson aura erupted from him, scales forming like armor across his skin, wings sprouting in bursts of light. The aura expanded rapidly, twisting the night sky into streaks of red and silver. Trees snapped under the strain of the energy, the ground cracking in jagged lines. Rias Gremory, who had been returning from a late-night patrol, sensed the explosion of power and dashed toward the epicenter. Her eyes widened as she saw the impossible. Issei levitating, glowing, bathed in an aura so vast it seemed capable of consuming the world. Issei, what's happening? Rias shouted, fear and awe intertwining in her voice. I don't know. Issei yelled, the power inside him pulsing with every heartbeat. It's like I can feel everything, the devils, the dragons, even the angels. I can feel her. Ophis, Surzek's Lucifer appeared beside her, calm but intensely focused. Indeed, the vessel has awakened. His power, it is beyond anything we've ever encountered. Before anyone could react further, a dark distortion tore open at the edge of the campus. Ancient angels, cloaked in obsidian armor, emerged, weapons gleaming under the moonlight. Their leader, Seraphian, stepped forward, a fallen angel whose power rivaled the gods themselves. The vessel of Ophis shall not rise, he proclaimed. We will claim his power for the heavens. Issei's crimson eyes narrowed. I won't let you, he roared, the aura around him exploding outward, creating shockwaves that shattered the ground and sent trees flying. His boosted gear had transformed, fused with the power of Ophis, radiating an almost infinite crimson glow. The battle erupted. Every punch Issei threw carried the force of mountains collapsing. The angel's weapons clashed against his aura, yet sparks of crimson energy incinerated their attacks. Time itself seemed to bend around him. He could anticipate every strike, feel the very heartbeat of the world, sense the trajectory of each sword, arrow, and spell. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Asia arrived to assist, their combined powers adding to the chaos. But even together, they could only watch in awe as Issei's form became less human and more like the legends of dragons themselves. Massive wings of light stretching outward, tail lashing, energy scales shimmering with infinity. Ophis consciousness flowed through him, guiding, teaching, pushing him beyond limits he never dreamed of. You are mine, Issei. Yet your heart, it is yours. Do not let power consume you. Let it protect, let it fight, let it love. Yes. I am still me, Issei shouted, a roar that split the sky. He unleashed a new technique, a fusion of boosted gear's Red Dragon Emperor power and Ophis Infinity energy. Dragonic Absolute Break. The shockwave tore through the night, obliterating the angel's formation. Fire and energy twisted reality, reshaping the land itself. The angels screamed, falling back, their confidence shattered. Yet one remained, Seraphian, unharmed, his armor smoking from the force. Impressive, but you are only beginning. Do you truly think the son of a dragon can stand against heaven itself? Issei's aura flared brighter, his form now towering, his dragon wings fully extended. I am Hayate Issei, son of Ophis. And I will not let you harm my friends, my family, or my world. The battle intensified. Seraphian unleashed a torrent of divine fire and lightning, each strike capable of leveling mountains. Issei countered, his body moving faster than thought, red energy scales absorbing the attacks, his wings deflecting the blasts. With every clash, reality cracked and reshaped around them. Rias and the others joined the counterattack, forming barriers, casting spells, and striking alongside him. Even Surzek himself intervened, unleashing his full might, yet it was clear, the true power belonged to Issei. During a brief lull, Issei's mind swirled with memories not his own, fragments of Ophis' existence, the weight of eternity, the isolation of being the most powerful dragon. He felt the endless responsibility of creation, the pain of watching worlds rise and fall. But he also felt love, warmth, and the desire to protect those he cared for, humanity, devils, angels, and dragons alike. I can do this, he whispered to himself. I have to do this. The battle resumed with renewed ferocity. Seraphion unleashed an army of corrupted angels, their numbers seemingly infinite. Issei fought tirelessly, his aura expanding further, creating temporal distortions as if rewriting the very laws of nature. His power became a storm, consuming darkness and light alike, his dragon form radiating infinity energy that could erase and recreate existence. Rias, watching him, felt her heart break and swell with pride simultaneously. Issei, he's not just my friend, my devil, he's something more. Something divine. Issei sensed her gaze, her warmth anchoring him, keeping him grounded amidst the overwhelming power. With a final roar, he combined all his energy, boosted gear, Ophis infinity, and his own indomitable will, into a cataclysmic strike. The heavens themselves shuddered. Seraphion's forces were obliterated, the dark energy dissipating like smoke in the wind. When the dust cleared, Ko Academy lay in partial ruin, the moonlight casting long shadows over the shattered grounds. Issei hovered, wings folding, the crimson glow dimming as his form slowly returned to something resembling his human self. Yet his eyes still glowed faintly red, scales faintly visible along his arms, a reminder of the power that now resided within him. Rias ran to him, tears in her eyes. Issei, are you okay? I think so, he replied, exhaustion etched into his face. But I feel different. Strong, powerful, scared. Serzex placed a hand on his shoulder. Fear is natural. You've inherited a power that rivals eternity. But you also have the heart to master it. To protect. To fight for what matters. In the distance, a shadowy figure observed the scene silently. A being whose name had been lost in legend, whose eyes burned with ambition. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Interesting, very interesting indeed. It whispered. Issei sensed it, the next threat, one that could challenge even the Red Dragon Emperor. But for the first time, he felt ready. I am Hayate Issei, son of Ophis, he declared, voice ringing with authority. And I will not let anyone, no matter how powerful, take my life, my friends, or my world. The night air quivered, the stars themselves seeming to bow in acknowledgement. A new era had begun. The era of the Red Dragon Emperor. And this was only the beginning. The cold sky had darkened to a crimson hue, unnatural and foreboding, as if the heavens themselves had grown fearful. The campus grounds trembled beneath the power that had erupted from Issei Hayate. Each heartbeat resonated like a drum of war, echoing across the landscape, carrying with it the raw, boundless energy of Ophis' bloodline. Issei hovered midair, the fusion of boosted gear and Ophis infinity energy blazing outward. Every pulse of his power bent reality slightly, as if his existence alone challenged the natural laws. The winds whipped violently, tearing through the trees, and the scent of ozone and burning ether filled the air. Rias Gremry arrived first, followed closely by Akino, Kaneko, and Asia. Their eyes widened, faces pale in awe and fear. Issei, what is happening to you? Rias screamed over the roaring storm of power. I don't know, Issei cried, his voice resonating unnaturally, carrying the vibrations of Ophis consciousness intertwined with his own. I can feel everything, everyone, even the world itself. The air shimmered again as Serzex Lucifer appeared, his expression a mixture of awe and worry. The vessel has awakened fully, this power, it surpasses even what we imagined. Before anyone could react further, a rift tore open at the far end of the campus. From the swirling black and gold energies emerged Seraphion, the ancient fallen angel whose reputation had haunted devils and humans alike. Around him, a swarm of corrupted angels descended, their forms twisted by centuries of hatred and dark energy. The vessel of Ophis shall not rise! Seraphion's voice boomed, echoing through the dimension-twisting storm. I will claim his power for heaven itself. Issei's crimson aura flared, expanding outward like a dragon-shaped nebula. His scales shimmered with infinity light, wings bursting fully into existence, each feather a blade of pure energy. I will not let you! He roared, sending a shockwave that shattered the ground and sent dozens of angels flying backward. The battle began in earnest. Each angel struck with divine speed and precision, but Issei moved faster, reacting before they even completed their motions. His boosted gear, now intertwined with Ophis' infinite power, evolved mid-battle. He no longer merely multiplied his strength, he reshaped it. Time seemed to bend around his attacks. Reality became malleable in his presence. Aquino and Rias cast spells in tandem, creating shields and channels for his attacks. But even their combined magic felt fragile against the raw force of Ophis' essence within him. Kaneko leapt and struck at any angel who dared approach from unexpected angles, her divine lightning harmonizing with Issei's energy pulses. Asia chanted prayers, each one strengthening the protective wards around the allies. Meanwhile, Seraphion advanced, his massive, black-winged form descending upon Issei. Child of Ophis, do you understand the weight of your blood? You wield power beyond comprehension, yet you are still a boy clinging to mortal sentiment. Issei's eyes glowed brighter, his inner dragon voice awakening fully. I am Issei Haido, and I will not allow anyone to harm those I care about. His wings slashed through the air, sending a pulse that disrupted Seraphion's form. Reality itself seemed to bend around the swing of his tail. He experimented mid-fight, discovering new abilities born from the fusion of boosted gear and Ophis power. He manipulated spatial rifts, creating twin dragon manifestations that mirrored his own attacks, striking the angels from multiple angles simultaneously. His aura could now harden into near-absolute barriers or stretch outward in destructive tendrils. Each pulse of energy could level mountains or compress into a pinpoint beam capable of piercing the strongest defenses. Seraphion's army began to falter. Angels who had once been untouchable fell beneath the relentless onslaught of the Red Dragon Emperor. The very air around them ignited, energy scales flashing, temporal distortions tearing apart the fabric of reality in the immediate vicinity. Yet Issei felt the weight of it all. Ophis consciousness whispered constantly, sometimes harshly, do not falter. Control it. You must surpass your limits or be consumed. He balanced the overwhelming power with his human heart, the desire to protect, to fight for love, to honor friendships. Issei, you're amazing, Rias whispered, tears streaming as she observed the sheer scope of his evolution. Not just for your strength, but for your heart. The battle escalated further. Seraphion, enraged, unleashed a forbidden technique, celestial judgment, a sweeping divine strike meant to annihilate the terrain and anything within it. Issei countered instinctively, folding the attack into his own energy, amplifying it and redirecting the force into a brilliant crimson sphere. The sphere exploded in a storm of light and scales, vaporizing dozens of angels instantly. Despite this victory, the threat was far from over. From the shadows of the battlefield, unknown forces stirred, ancient dragons, chaotic entities, beings who had sensed the awakening of Ophis air across multiple dimensions. Each one watched, calculating, waiting for the moment to intervene. Issei hovered, breathing heavily. His wings folded, but the crimson glow remained, a constant reminder of the power now coursing through his veins. I can't stop now, not when the world, my friends, are counting on me, he whispered. Serzex approached him cautiously, placing a hand on his shoulder. You are no ordinary being, Issei. You are the heir of infinity, the Red Dragon Emperor. But you are still human at your core. That is why you will surpass even Ophis' own expectations. The night sky shifted again, stars seeming to shimmer in acknowledgement of Issei's rise. But a shadow loomed in the distance, a figure watching, calculating, waiting to test the Red Dragon Emperor beyond his limits. I am Haido Issei, son of Ophis, and I will not let anyone, no matter how powerful, take my life, my friends, or my world, he declared, the words ringing across Ko, the very air trembling in response. The Red Dragon Emperor had awakened. And this was only the beginning. The night had grown unnaturally silent after the first explosion of Issei's power. Ko Academy, normally bustling with energy, now lay under a crimson sky. The ground cracked and splintered beneath the raw force of the Red Dragon Emperor. Issei hovered midair, his wings fully extended, crimson and silver scales shimmering under the moonlight. Every heartbeat sent tremors through the earth, a rhythm that resonated across the realms of humans, devils, dragons, and even angels. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Asia arrived on the scene, their expressions frozen between awe and fear. Issei, what's happening? Rias shouted, her voice barely audible over the storm of energy that radiated from him. I can feel everything. Issei's voice rang with a resonance that was no longer entirely human. The devils, the angels, dragons. Ophis. I can feel her. I am her, but I am me. Surzek's Lucifer appeared beside them, his face betraying both pride and concern. The vessel has awakened, fully. His power, it surpasses anything even I have encountered. This is no ordinary Red Dragon Emperor. It is a being of infinite potential, the true heir of Ophis. A sudden distortion tore open at the edge of the school grounds, and Seraphion, the fallen angel who had been waiting in the shadows, emerged, cloaked in black gold armor. His eyes burned with celestial intensity. Around him, a legion of corrupted angels descended, each one carrying weapons forged in divine fire and ice. The vessel of Ophis shall not rise, Seraphion proclaimed, his voice echoing across the battlefield. I will claim his power for heaven itself. Issei's aura flared, crimson scales pulsating with infinite energy. His wings snapped outward, generating a shockwave that shattered the ground and hurled dozens of angels into the air. I will not let you, he roared, voice carrying the combined weight of humanity, devil, and dragon alike. The angels attacked in unison, each one striking with divine speed. But Issei moved faster, predicting their every move before it could occur. His boosted gear, now merged with Ophis infinity energy, allowed him to manipulate not only raw strength but also time and space in localized bursts. Reality bent around him as he countered every strike. Aquino and Rias worked together to amplify his energy, casting synchronized spells that enhanced his attacks while shielding allies. Kaneko darted between enemies, her divine lightning piercing corrupted angels with precision. Asia chanted prayers, each word reinforcing the wards that protected their friends from the residual energy surges. Seraphion advanced, his massive wings spreading like a storm over the battlefield. Child of Ophis, do you understand the weight of your blood? You wield power beyond comprehension, yet you cling to mortal sentiment. Issei's eyes glowed brighter. The Red Dragon Emperor within him surged to the forefront. I am Hayate Issei, and I will protect my friends, my family, and my world! His wings swept across the battlefield, generating energy currents that tore through the corrupted angels' formations. He experimented mid-fight, discovering new abilities, infinity scales, armor of light that absorbed any attack and returned it amplified. Spatial slash, wings became blades of pure energy, slicing through space itself. Temporal burst, he could accelerate his perception, making it seem as if time slowed around him. Seraphion's army faltered, though he himself remained unyielding. Impressive, but you are only beginning. He unleashed celestial judgment, a wave of divine fire and lightning designed to annihilate anything in its path. Issei reacted instinctively. He folded the attack into a crimson sphere, compressing and redirecting the energy. The resulting explosion obliterated dozens of angels instantly, their screams echoing across the night. Yet Seraphion stood, smoldering but unbroken. Rias approached cautiously, worry in her eyes. Issei, you're incredible, but you can't keep this up forever. I know, he admitted, wings folding slightly. But I can't stop, not now. Not when everyone I care about is in danger. The battle intensified. New waves of angels emerged, each one stronger than the last, wielding unique powers. Aurelius could summon swords from thin air, creating a storm of blades. Celephine manipulated light to create illusions and trap opponents in infinite loops. Zephyros commanded wind currents to shred terrain and fling enemies like ragdolls. Issei countered each one effortlessly, though he felt fatigue creeping into his muscles and mind. His Ophis power provided infinite energy, but controlling it required focus, and losing control could devastate everything around him, including Ko itself. He called upon a new technique, born from desperation and instinct, Dragonic Infinity Barrage. Crimson dragons of pure energy erupted from his wings, tails, and claws, each one striking multiple enemies simultaneously. The angels screamed as their formations were decimated, their ranks collapsing under the overwhelming force. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Asia fought alongside him, forming a coordinated assault that complemented his attacks. Rias cast fire spells imbued with her devil energy, Akino unleashed lightning that pierced through dimensional rifts, Kaneko moved like a shadow, and Asia's prayers amplified the protective wards across the battlefield. Surzex approached, observing the scene with a critical eye. Issei, remember control. Infinity is not limitless. It bends reality, yes, but reckless use can tear your soul apart. I understand. Issei shouted, focusing on his internal connection with Ophis. You're my blood, my guide. Help me control this. Ophis' consciousness flowed through him, a calm voice amidst the chaos. You have the heart, Issei. That is what makes you strong. Balance it, or lose yourself. He extended his wings fully, generating a vortex of energy that drew in enemy attacks, compressing them into an orb of pure destruction. With a roar, he unleashed it, obliterating the last of the corrupted angels. The ground quaked, a crater forming where the blast had struck. For a brief moment, silence returned. Ko Academy lay partially ruined, but the immediate threat had been vanquished. Issei hovered, wings folding, crimson glow dimming to a faint shimmer. His chest heaved as he tried to catch his breath. Rias ran to him, tears in her eyes. Issei, you're alive! He nodded, exhausted but resolute. I'm okay, for now. But I can feel more out there. Stronger enemies, watching, waiting. Surzex placed a hand on his shoulder. You have awakened, Issei. But this is only the beginning. Your power has drawn attention from realms long thought dormant. Ancient dragons, chaotic entities, forces beyond comprehension. They will come. And you must be ready. From the shadows, a figure observed silently. Cloaked in darkness, their eyes glimmered with anticipation. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Interesting, very interesting indeed. Let us see how this Red Dragon Emperor fares against true infinity. Issei sensed it, a new threat, more powerful than any before. But for the first time, he felt prepared. His friends, his family, the bonds he had forged, they anchored him. His Ophis heritage was not just a weapon, it was a responsibility, a promise. I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, and I will not let anyone, no matter how powerful, take my life, my friends, or my world. He declared, voice resonating across Ko, carrying the weight of eternity itself. The night trembled at his proclamation, stars seeming to shimmer in acknowledgement of his rise. The Red Dragon Emperor had awakened, and this was only the beginning. The aftermath of Issei's awakening left Ko Academy in partial ruin. The ground was scarred, the air still shimmering faintly with residual crimson energy. Even the local humans whispered rumors of a terrifying, godlike figure seen in the school that night. But for Issei and his friends, the battle was only the beginning. Rias approached him cautiously, concern and awe in her eyes. Issei, you were incredible. But do you understand what you've unleashed? Issei, wings folded, crimson glow faintly visible along his arms, shook his head. I can feel it. More power, and more enemies. Ophis, she's guiding me, but there's something else. Watching. Waiting. Surzek's expression was grave. The awakening has sent ripples across multiple realms. Ancient dragons, chaos beasts, even forces beyond the known hierarchy of devils and angels, all have sensed your rise. Many will attempt to test you, claim your blood, or destroy you before you can master your potential. Akino placed a hand on Issei's shoulder, voice steady but worried. Then we fight. Together. We've faced impossible odds before. Now, we face eternity itself. From the shadows, beyond the remnants of the battle, a new presence stirred. Cloaked in an aura of shifting darkness and light, a figure observed the aftermath. Their voice, a whisper that seemed to reach the very core of the world, echoed faintly. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. The Red Dragon Emperor has claimed his first victory, but that is only a taste. Soon, he will confront powers that rival even Ophis herself. Let the games begin. Issei's senses tingled. He could feel the figure's observation like a thread pulling at his consciousness. Though he could not yet identify the being, he sensed danger beyond comprehension, a force that could rival his new powers. Rias clenched her fists. Issei, whatever comes, we'll stand with you. We've survived devils, angels, even dragons. This, whatever it is, we'll survive it too. Issei nodded, a mix of determination and resolve blazing in his crimson eyes. I've awakened, yes. But this power, it's not just for me. I'll protect everyone I care about, and I'll face whatever comes next, head on. No matter how strong. Serzex gave a rare, approving smile. Then your training begins. You've barely scratched the surface of Ophis abilities. Time manipulation, spatial mastery, absolute destruction, and much more. If the multiverse itself seeks to challenge you, you must become its equal. As the friends gathered amidst the ruins, Ophis' presence whispered softly within Issei's mind, "The world is vast, Issei. And countless forces covet power beyond imagining. But your heart, your will, that is what makes you unstoppable. Prepare. The next battle approaches, and it will decide the fate of worlds." In the distance, across dimensions unseen by ordinary eyes, the shadowy figure stirred, gathering allies and ancient relics. So, the Red Dragon Emperor has awakened. Very well, let us prepare a challenge worthy of him. Let the era of chaos, power, and destiny begin. Issei's aura flared one last time in the night. Wings spread, crimson light pulsing, he faced the horizon, feeling the weight of his bloodline and the responsibility it carried. I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, and I will not let anyone, no matter how powerful, threaten my friends, my world, or this life I've chosen to protect. The next battle comes, and I will be ready. The stage was set. The Red Dragon Emperor had awakened. Ancient threats stirred. And the war that would span devils, angels, dragons, and realms unknown was about to begin. The era of infinite conflict, of power and destiny entwined, had begun. The ruins of Ko Academy lay bathed in crimson light, remnants of the Red Dragon Emperor's first awakening scattered across the landscape. Broken stone, charred earth, and scorched trees bore witness to the power of a single being who had become far more than human, more than devil, more than dragon, Issei Hayadu, son of Ophis. But peace never lasted in a world teetering on the edge of chaos. From the dimensions beyond sight, a presence stirred, dark yet brilliant, like a star eclipsed by shadow. The cloaked figure who had observed Issei now began to move, gathering its forces with patient, calculating precision. Ancient relics, long thought lost to the tides of time, were awakened. The air itself trembled, whispering the name of a power that even devils feared, the Abyssal Conclave. Inside Ko, Issei floated above the shattered grounds, wings folded but still radiating faint crimson light. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, Asia, and Serzex had regrouped, each exhausted yet resolute. Issei, Serzex said, his voice calm yet heavy with warning. The forces that sense your awakening are vast. This is no ordinary enemy. They do not belong to the ranks of angels, devils, or dragons. They are beyond, yet they covet your blood. You must train, now, not later. Issei clenched his fists, crimson energy pulsating across his body. I will. I can feel them. Powerful, ancient, watching, waiting. But I won't back down. I won't let anyone, any force, threaten my friends, my world, or my life. Aquino's violet eyes reflected worry. Issei, this power. Ophis power, it's incredible, but it's unstable. You could tear apart reality itself if you lose control. I know, he said, a determined glint in his eyes. But I'm not alone anymore. I have Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, Asia. Father. Ophis guiding me. I can control it, I have to control it. Suddenly, the air rippled violently. A dimensional tear opened above Ko, and a wave of shadows descended, creatures twisted by infinity energy, each one radiating an aura older and darker than any devil or angel. Their leader emerged from the shadows, a towering figure in shifting black gold armor, eyes glowing with cosmic malice. Issei Hayadu. The being's voice echoed like thunder across dimensions. You awaken as the vessel of Ophis, but do you truly understand the nature of infinity? I am Xiron, guardian of the Abyssal Conclave. You will fall, and your blood will belong to eternity. Issei's aura flared. Crimson scales hardened across his body, wings snapping open, glowing like the heart of a supernova. I will not! I am Hayadu Issei, son of Ophis, and I will protect everyone I care about. The battle erupted immediately. Shadows swirled, striking like tidal waves. Issei moved with impossible speed, wings slicing through the void, generating energy currents that deflected attacks before they even landed. Each pulse of his aura distorted space, bending the battlefield to his will. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Asia joined the fray, but even together, the forces of the Abyssal Conclave were overwhelming. Shadows struck from all directions, elemental attacks fused with dark energy raining upon them. Yet Issei's power, combined with the infinite essence of Ophis, was more than a match. He manipulated reality locally, bending gravity, time, and spatial distance, striking enemies before they could even react. Xiron descended, towering over the battlefield. With a single swing of a gauntlet of black light, he sent a tidal wave of void energy that fractured the earth. Issei countered instinctively, expanding his dragonic form fully, the wings, tail, scales, and horns glowing with infinite crimson power. Energy rifts opened, absorbing the void attacks and releasing them as counterblasts, obliterating the front lines of the abyssal army. You manipulate infinity itself," Xiron said, a trace of unease in his voice. "Yet your mind is still human. How long before your resolve falters?" "I'm not just human!" Issei shouted, roars vibrating across the battlefield. His wings extended to form a barrier of crimson light, and from within it, twin dragon manifestations erupted, mirrors of himself made entirely of infinity energy. Each dragon struck simultaneously, tearing through the abyssal shadows with devastating precision. Rias and the others worked in harmony with him. Rias launched fire-infused spells that ignited the edges of shadow beasts. Aquino's lightning sliced through void forms. Kaneko moved like a phantom, cleaving any enemy that bypassed their main line, and Asia reinforced wards that kept their fragile human and devil allies from being overwhelmed. Yet Xiron's power was relentless. He manipulated reality itself, warping the battlefield, compressing space and time to launch attacks from impossible angles. The sky cracked, and distant mountains trembled under the pressure of their clash. Feeling the strain, Issei called upon a higher level of Ophis essence, fusing it fully with boosted gear. His aura expanded exponentially, scales of red and silver spiraling outward infinitely, wings now twice their size, and eyes glowing with absolute determination. Dragonic Absolute Infinity, a technique that merged all his learned abilities into one unstoppable force, was unleashed. Energy tore across dimensions, vaporizing shadows instantly. The twin dragon manifestations now became semi-sentient extensions of Issei's will, coordinating attacks across the battlefield. Time distortions slowed Xiron's movements locally, giving Issei openings to strike. The first major clash ended with Xiron staggering backward, surprised by the sheer magnitude of Issei's growth. Yet, even wounded, he smiled. "Interesting, very interesting. Your potential is terrifying, but raw. Untested. I will savor this." Issei hovered, wings folded slightly, sweat and energy searing his body. He glanced at Rias, her crimson hair flowing in the energy winds. I don't know if I can fully control this yet," he admitted, voice trembling slightly. "You don't have to be perfect," Rias said softly, placing her hand on his arm. "You just have to fight with your heart. That's what makes you, you." Surzex nodded. "She is right. Infinity is not merely a weapon, it is a responsibility. You are the Red Dragon Emperor, but it is your heart, your connections, that will determine the outcome of this battle, and the battles to come." Issei clenched his fists, crimson energy spiraling around him. "Then I'll fight, no matter what. I'll master this power, protect everyone, and face whatever comes next. I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, the Red Dragon Emperor." From the shadows beyond the battlefield, whispers echoed. Ancient forces, long dormant, had felt the awakening. Dragons older than the world itself, chaos entities, and beings of infinite power stirred. They would converge soon. And when they did, the Red Dragon Emperor would face the ultimate challenge, one that would determine the fate of all realms. The war had only just begun. Ko Academy lay in ruins under the afterglow of Issei's awakening. The crimson light that had bathed the campus faded slowly, leaving behind a shattered landscape, scorched earth, and a silence that pressed against the ears like the calm before a storm. Yet within that silence, an unseen presence stirred, vast and ancient, its gaze piercing the veil between realms. Xiron, guardian of the Abyssal Conclave, floated above the battlefield, his black gold armor gleaming with dark infinity energy. Around him, shadows coalesced into terrifying forms, warriors and beasts forged from the very essence of void and chaos. They were not devils, not angels, not dragons, but something older, primordial, designed for one purpose: to destroy the Red Dragon Emperor before he could master the full power of Ophis' bloodline. Issei hovered at the center of the ruins, wings fully extended, scales shimmering with crimson infinity energy. His eyes glowed bright red, yet within them burned the determination of a human heart. "I will not let you harm my friends, my world, my life!" With a sudden motion, Xiron descended, the air warping around him as reality itself bent to his will. "Child of Ophis, you awaken as a vessel, yes. But you are still raw, still inexperienced. I will show you the infinite gulf between potential and mastery." The first wave of abyssal minions surged forward, grotesque figures wreathed in black energy, claws like scythes, eyes glowing with malice. They attacked simultaneously, striking from multiple dimensions, impossible angles, their numbers seemingly infinite. Issei's aura flared explosively. Dragonic absolute infinity, the fusion of boosted gear and Ophis essence, enveloped him. Crimson energy dragons erupted from his wings, tail, and claws, each striking in perfect coordination, tearing through the abyssal army with precision and devastating force. Rias and her team joined the fray immediately. Rias unleashed her power of destruction, igniting the edges of shadow beasts with crimson flames. Aquino channeled lightning infused with sacred energy, piercing the void forms. Kaneko darted through the battlefield, her divine lightning obliterating enemies before they could reach allies. Asia's prayers reinforced wards that protected both human and devil allies from the destabilizing effects of infinite energy. Even with their combined efforts, the abyssal army pressed relentlessly. Xiron raised his gauntlet, generating a wave of distortion that twisted the battlefield. Gravity inverted, terrain shifted, and time slowed locally. Yet Issei adapted instinctively, manipulating spatial rifts, folding attacks into infinity loops, and striking before Xiron's attacks could fully manifest. "You manipulate infinity itself," Xiron growled. "Yet your mind is still human. How long before your resolve shatters?" "I'm not just human!" Issei roared. His wings expanded, generating an energy vortex that absorbed and amplified enemy attacks. Twin dragon manifestations, semi-sentient constructs born of Ophis essence, mirrored his strikes, attacking enemies from multiple angles simultaneously. The battle escalated further. Xiron called forth elite generals of the Abyssal Conclave. Erebus, the Void Reaver, capable of phasing through space to strike anywhere at any time. Nyxera, Mistress of Shadows, creating infinite duplicates that trapped opponents in endless loops. Thanatos, the Death Herald, whose touch disintegrated matter and energy alike. Each general engaged directly with a member of Issei's team. Erebus attacked Issei, phasing through his attacks, forcing him to expand his reality-warping abilities. Nyxera targeted Rias and Aquino, creating infinite shadow duplicates to overwhelm them, while Thanatos advanced on Kaneko and Asia, disintegrating terrain and threatening to tear the battlefield apart. Issei roared, extending his Ophis power further. Infinity Warp, he distorted space around Erebus, freezing him mid-phase, striking him with multiple energy strikes from impossible angles. Nyxera's duplicates were annihilated by Crimson Infinity Dragons, each strike a focused burst of reality-breaking energy. Thanatos hesitated for the first time as Asia's prayers, amplified by Issei's aura, created a pocket of stabilized reality, allowing Kaneko to strike the Death Herald with lightning-infused blows. Despite the victories, Xiron advanced. His power warped the very fabric of the battlefield. Mountains tore themselves apart, rivers of void energy twisted across the sky. He raised his hands, gathering a storm of infinity energy to crush Issei in one decisive strike. "You are strong, but you are still nothing compared to infinity itself." Issei's crimson aura flared to its maximum. He called upon a technique never before used in combat, eternal dragonic infinity convergence. His energy dragons merged into a single colossal manifestation, scales of red and silver glittering with infinite light. Wings expanded, tails swept across the battlefield, claws and fangs made of concentrated infinity energy ready to tear apart the very dimensions. Time slowed as the two forces collided. Reality bent, space twisted, and the very air screamed under the power of the Red Dragon Emperor and Xiron's infinite energy. Every strike, every clash, echoed across realms. The abyssal conclave generals were thrown back, disoriented by the overwhelming force. Issei's inner voice, guided by Ophis, whispered, "Focus your heart, not just your power. Your will is your anchor. Protect what you love, and infinite energy will obey." He gritted his teeth. "I will not let you destroy my world!" The collision of energy unleashed a catastrophic explosion, tearing the battlefield into multiple dimensions simultaneously. The shockwave obliterated the abyssal conclave's forces in the immediate vicinity, scattering shadows across other realms. Xiron himself was thrown back, though still standing, more intrigued than enraged. Rias, panting, approached him. "Issei, your power, it's beyond comprehension." "I know," Issei replied, wings folding slightly. "But there's more. I can feel other forces approaching. Even greater than this." Surzex placed a hand on Issei's shoulder. "Then prepare, Red Dragon Emperor. You have won today, but the universe will send forces beyond imagining. You must train, master your new powers, and stand ready for what comes next." From the shadows beyond the dimensional rift, a more terrifying presence stirred. A being older than the abyssal conclave, one who had shaped multiverses and devoured realms, had sensed the Red Dragon Emperor's awakening. Its gaze burned across time and space, focused entirely on Issei. "So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Very well. The era of infinity begins." Issei, sensing the presence, clenched his fists. Wings flared, aura glowing brighter than the moon. "I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, the Red Dragon Emperor, and I will face any enemy, anywhere, and protect my friends, my world, and all that I love." The battlefield trembled under his declaration. Stars flickered as if acknowledging the rise of a new force. The war for infinity had begun in earnest, and the next enemy was coming, stronger, older, and more dangerous than anything he had ever faced. The Red Dragon Emperor had awakened, and this was only the beginning. Ko Academy's ruins trembled under the lingering aftershocks of Issei's previous awakening. Crimson light still bled across shattered stones, and faint remnants of energy dragons shimmered across the battlefield, like echoes of a storm that had passed but never truly ended. Yet silence could not last in a world balanced between devils, angels, and dragons, especially not with the vessel of Ophis now fully awakened. Above the academy, a tear in reality opened wider than any natural law would allow. Through it poured a storm of shadows, twisting, writhing, creatures formed from void, chaos, and malice. They descended with a single purpose: destroy the Red Dragon Emperor before his mastery over infinity could solidify. Floating amidst the destruction, Xiron, guardian of the abyssal conclave, radiated an aura older than time itself. His black gold armor shimmered with chaotic energy, eyes like twin eclipses burning with infinite intent. Around him, the first wave of the conclave's generals emerged, each a weapon forged from the void of precreation. Erebus, the Void Reaver, capable of striking from any location in any timeline, phasing through dimensions. Nyxera, mistress of shadows, capable of infinite duplicates, trapping her enemies in endless recursive loops. Thanatos, the Death Herald, whose very touch unmade matter and energy alike. Morrigan, the temporal huntress, manipulating time locally to accelerate or reverse any strike. Abyss Scion, the World Breaker, a towering void beast whose energy alone could destabilize dimensions. The battlefield trembled as the abyssal conclave unleashed chaos. Shadows surged from every rift, striking from all directions, warping space, distorting time. Issei hovered, crimson aura blazing. His wings expanded fully, scales of red and silver glowing with infinity energy. Twin dragon manifestations emerged beside him, their eyes reflecting his will. "I will not let you harm my friends, my world, my life." The first clash was cataclysmic. Erebus phased through space, striking at impossible angles. Yet Issei reacted instinctively, warping reality locally with infinity warp, striking Erebus simultaneously from multiple directions. Energy rippled through the battlefield, and Erebus staggered, for the first time challenged. Nyxora's duplicates engulfed Rias and Aquino. Infinite illusions wrapped around them, slicing the battlefield into recursive patterns. But Aquino's lightning, infused with sacred energy, pierced every duplicate, while Rias cast power of destruction spells, disintegrating the shadows before they could strike. "We're not done yet!" Rias shouted, her hair flowing in the energy storm. Thanatos advanced on Kaneko and Asia, disintegrating earth and energy alike. Kaneko darted forward, striking with her divine lightning, each strike empowered by Issei's aura. Asia reinforced the space with her prayers, forming protective spheres that stabilized the local reality long enough for Kaneko to land critical blows. Issei, feeling the battle's escalation, called upon Dragonic Absolute Infinity, fusing boosted gear with Ophis essence completely. Crimson dragons of infinite scale erupted from his wings, tail, and claws, attacking in perfect synchronization. He manipulated space and time locally, slowing Xiron's movements and countering attacks before they even manifested. Xiron's voice echoed across dimensions. "You manipulate infinity, yet your mind is still human. How long before your resolve falters? I'm not just human!" Issei roared. His aura flared, expanding like a supernova, energy dragons converging into eternal dragonic infinity convergence. The colossal dragon manifested from his will, scales glittering with absolute infinity light, wings generating rifts in space, claws tearing through dimensions. The first major clash shook the surrounding multiverse. Abyssal generals were flung backward. Erebus staggered, Nyxora's illusions disintegrated, Thanatos faltered under combined team attacks. Even Abyssion, the world breaker, hesitated as reality itself bent around Issei's will. The battle escalated further. Morrigan accelerated time locally, striking Rias with centuries of blows in a second. Aquino countered, using her lightning to break the temporal flow, but the effort drained her energy. Issei sensed the danger. He extended Ophis essence into their protective field, stabilizing time around them, allowing them to fight without distortion. From the shadows, Xiron unleashed his ultimate attack, Void Infinity Cataclysm, a sphere of concentrated void and chaos energy that threatened to erase Co-Academy from existence. Issei clenched his fists. "I can control this. I must control this." Guided by Ophis' voice within his mind, he gathered all energy, forming a massive sphere of crimson infinity dragons that enveloped the cataclysm. Time and space bent around them as he compressed and amplified the attack, redirecting it back at Xiron. The clash generated a shockwave felt across dimensions. Mountains shattered, rivers evaporated, and the sky itself cracked. The Abyssal Conclave generals were thrown back, staggering, yet Xiron remained standing, intrigued rather than defeated. "Ah, you are terrifying," Xiron admitted. "But raw. Untested. I will savor the moment when you finally fall." Issei hovered, wings folding slightly. "I don't know if I can fully control this yet," he admitted, voice trembling. "You don't have to be perfect," Rias said softly, placing her hand on his arm. "Fight with your heart. That's what makes you you." Surzex nodded. "Infinity is not merely a weapon, it is responsibility. Your connections, your heart, these are what will determine your victory, not just raw power." Issei gritted his teeth. Crimson aura flared again. "Then I'll fight, no matter what. I'll master this power, protect everyone, and face whatever comes next." From beyond the dimensional rifts, whispers echoed. Ancient dragons, chaos beasts, and beings older than creation itself had sensed the Red Dragon Emperor's awakening. They stirred, preparing to descend upon the battlefield. Xiron, realizing the stakes, retreated momentarily, vanishing into the dimensional rift. "This is only the beginning, Red Dragon Emperor. Soon you will face powers beyond comprehension." Issei's aura flared brighter than the moon, wings outstretched, eyes glowing crimson. "I am Hayate Issei, son of Ophis, the Red Dragon Emperor, and I will protect my friends, my world, and all that I love." The battlefield trembled. Stars flickered. Energy waves pulsed across realms. The war for infinity had begun in earnest. And the next enemy, the ultimate multiverse-level threat, was already on the move. The Red Dragon Emperor had fully awakened, and this was only the beginning. Co-Academy lay in ruins under the aftershocks of Issei's awakening. Shattered stone, scorched earth, and lingering crimson light marked the battlefield, yet silence was fleeting. Across dimensions, an ancient presence stirred, a force older than angels, devils, or dragons, drawn by the rise of the Red Dragon Emperor. Through a dimensional rift tore by sheer power, shadows poured forth, creatures forged from void, chaos, and malice. They descended with one purpose: annihilate Issei before his mastery over Ophis' infinite power could solidify. At the center of the battlefield, Issei hovered, crimson aura blazing, wings fully extended, scales shimmering with infinite energy. Beside him, twin dragon manifestations pulsed with life, reflecting his will. "I will not let you destroy my world!" he roared. Xiron, guardian of the abyssal conclave, emerged from the rift, his black gold armor reflecting the chaos around him. His eyes burned with infinite intent. "Child of Ophis, you awaken as a vessel, yes, but you are still raw, still untested. I will show you the gulf between potential and mastery." Behind him, the abyssal conclave generals prepared their assault. Erebus, the void reaver, phasing through space and time, striking from impossible angles. Nyxera, mistress of shadows, creating infinite duplicates to trap enemies and recursive illusions. Thanatos, the Death Herald, whose touch disintegrated matter and energy alike. Morrigan, the temporal huntress, manipulating localized time to accelerate or reverse attacks. Abyss Scion, the world breaker, a towering void beast whose raw energy destabilized dimensions. Oblivion twins, twin beings that could split reality into two contradictory layers simultaneously, confusing perception and physics. The abyssal conclave unleashed a barrage of attacks. Shadows struck from every angle, warping space, distorting time, and tearing at the battlefield's integrity. Mountains crumbled, rivers evaporated, and the air itself screamed under the impact of their energy. Issei reacted instantly. Calling upon Dragonic Absolute Infinity, he merged boosted gear with Ophis essence, generating twin crimson dragons that moved with semi-sentience. He manipulated space locally, folding attacks into infinity loops, striking enemies from multiple directions simultaneously. Erebus phased through reality, aiming to bypass Issei's defenses. Instinctively, Issei deployed Infinity Warp, striking Erebus simultaneously from all angles. Erebus staggered, shocked for the first time by a force capable of predicting and countering multidimensional strikes. Nyxera engulfed Rias and Aquino in infinite illusions. Rias countered with her power of destruction, disintegrating clones faster than they could form, while Aquino's lightning sliced through the void energy with precision. "We're not done yet!" Rias shouted, fury burning in her crimson eyes. Thanatos advanced on Kaneko and Asia, disintegrating matter with each step. Kaneko moved like a shadow herself, striking with divine lightning empowered by Issei's aura, while Asia reinforced protective spheres through her prayers. Reality stabilized enough for Kaneko to land lethal blows against Thanatos' projections. Issei focused on Xiron, who began charging Void Infinity Cataclysm, an attack capable of erasing the battlefield from existence. Guided by Ophis' voice in his mind, Issei extended infinity energy outward, forming crimson infinity dragons to compress, absorb, and redirect the attack. The resulting collision shook dimensions, sending shockwaves across the multiverse. Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Asia launched coordinated attacks simultaneously. Rias conjured crimson fire waves laced with devil magic. Aquino's lightning created tearing currents of holy energy. Kaneko's strikes shredded abyssal shadows. Asia's prayers stabilized rifts and wards. Together, they amplified Issei's infinite energy, allowing him to counter Xiron's assault fully. Morrigan accelerated time around Rias and Aquino, attempting to overwhelm them with centuries of blows in seconds. But Issei extended Ophis essence into their area, creating a temporal stabilization field, allowing the pair to fight unharmed. Abyss Scion, sensing its attacks failing, roared, its energy destabilizing dimensions. Issei responded with Reality Rend, a technique that tore space locally, striking Abyss Scion across multiple planes at once. Energy dragons enveloped the beast, piercing its defenses and scattering its energy across the void. Oblivion twins attempted to split reality, creating paradoxes to trap Issei. He countered with eternal dragonic infinity convergence, fusing twin dragons into a colossal being of infinite energy. Space bent, time slowed, and the twins' paradoxes collapsed under the sheer force of combined infinity energy. Xiron, observing the destruction, stepped forward. Interesting, terrifying, raw, but unrefined. Soon you will falter. He raised his hand, summoning a storm of void energy that warped dimensions further, threatening to crush the team entirely. Issei focused, feeling Ophis guiding him. He entered a higher stage of power, absolute Ophis convergence, his aura expanding infinitely, wings extended, energy dragons merging into a colossal manifestation that pulsed with infinite light. Reality itself bent around him, and with a roar, he struck the void storm with infinity obliteration strike. The shockwave obliterated abyssal shadows across multiple dimensions. Erebus fell, Nyxera's illusions dissolved, Thanatos staggered, Abyssaion collapsed. Only Xiron remained, wounded but alive, his curiosity now mixed with caution. Serzex approached Issei, placing a hand on his shoulder. You've mastered the first stage of your power, Red Dragon Emperor, but the multiverse senses your rise, and forces older than the abyssal conclave are approaching. Issei's crimson aura flared brighter than the moon. I am Hayate Issei, son of Ophis, and I will protect my friends, my world, and everything I love. From beyond the rifts, a presence far greater than Xiron stirred. A colossal silhouette eclipsed the stars. Its energy dwarfed all else, bending reality on a scale beyond comprehension. The whispers of ancient dragons, chaos entities, and primordial beings filled the battlefield. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Very well. The era of infinity begins. The Red Dragon Emperor had fully awakened, and this was only the beginning. The ruins of Ko Academy were barely recognizable. Once a symbol of human, devil, and dragon coexistence, it now lay scorched, broken, and trembling under the aftershocks of a power that no single being had ever wielded. Crimson energy still pulsed faintly from the earth, as if the very land remembered the awakening of the Red Dragon Emperor. From the shattered fabric of reality, a tear widened. Through its spilled shadows, void-forged monstrosities, writhing creatures of infinite malice, they poured forth with single-minded intent, destroy Issei Hayate before his mastery of Ophis' infinite blood could stabilize. Xiron, guardian of the abyssal conclave, emerged from the rift. His black gold armor shimmered with chaotic infinity energy, eyes burning like eclipsed stars. Around him, the abyssal generals gathered, each a weapon forged in the pre-creation void. Erebus, the Void Reaver, a shifting silhouette that phased through time and space, striking from angles no mortal or dragon could predict. Nyxera, mistress of shadows, capable of infinite duplicates, creating recursive loops that trapped her enemy's perception in endless illusions. Thanatos, the Death Herald, a skeletal figure whose touch disintegrated matter and energy alike. Morrigan, the Temporal Huntress, manipulated local time, accelerating or reversing events at will, making her strikes nearly impossible to anticipate. Abyssaion, the World Breaker, a colossal void beast whose energy alone could destabilize entire dimensions. Oblivion Twins, two beings that could split reality, creating contradictory layers that warped physics and perception. The battlefield trembled as the abyssal conclave unleashed their assault. Shadows tore across the terrain, bending space, distorting time, and shredding the earth. Mountains crumbled, rivers evaporated, and the air itself screamed under the sheer energy unleashed. At the center, Issei hovered, crimson aura blazing, wings fully extended, scales shimmering with infinity energy. Twin dragon manifestations, semi-sentient extensions of his will, emerged beside him. I will not let you destroy my friends, my world, my life, Issei roared, voice vibrating across dimensions. Erebus struck first, phasing through space to attack from multiple angles simultaneously. Instinctively, Issei deployed Infinity Warp, striking Erebus from all directions at once. The Void Reaver staggered, shocked by a force capable of countering multidimensional attacks. Nyxera's duplicates surrounded Rias and Aquino. Infinite illusions folded the battlefield into recursive loops, but Rias countered with power of destruction, incinerating clones instantly, while Aquino's lightning tore through void energy with pinpoint precision. Thanatos advanced on Kaneko and Asia. Each step disintegrated matter and energy alike. Kaneko darted with divine lightning, empowered by Issei's aura, while Asia stabilized protective spheres through her prayers, allowing Kaneko to strike lethal blows at the Death Herald's projections. Issei's aura flared explosively. He called upon Dragonic Absolute Infinity, merging boosted gear with Ophis essence fully. Crimson dragons erupted from his wings, tail, and claws, moving with semi-sentience and attacking in perfect coordination. Space and time warped locally as he folded attacks into infinity loops, striking enemies before they could react. Zyron's voice echoed across dimensions. You manipulate infinity, yet your mind is still human. How long before your resolve falters? I'm not just human! Issei roared, aura flaring brighter than a supernova. Twin dragons merged into eternal dragonic infinity convergence, a colossal manifestation of infinite energy. Space bent, time slowed, and multidimensional strikes tore through the battlefield. Erebus fell under precise infinity attacks. Nyxura's illusions dissolved. Thanatos staggered. Abyssion roared, energy destabilizing the terrain, but Issei countered with reality rend, piercing multiple planes simultaneously. Oblivion Twins' paradoxical attacks collapsed under the overwhelming energy. Morrigan accelerated time around Rias and Aquino. Centuries of strikes in a single second, but Issei extended Ophis essence into their area, creating a temporal stabilization field, allowing them to fight unharmed. Rias and Aquino countered, launching coordinated attacks with devastating precision. Zyron unleashed Void Infinity Cataclysm, a sphere of concentrated void energy capable of erasing the battlefield. Issei compressed, absorbed, and redirected it with Crimson Infinity Dragons, creating a shockwave across dimensions. Abyssal generals were flung back, staggering. Even as victory seemed near, a more terrifying presence stirred beyond the dimensional rift. A colossal shadow eclipsed the stars, its energy dwarfing Zyron and the entire conclave. Whispers of ancient dragons, chaos entities, and primordial beings echoed across the battlefield. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Very well. The era of infinity begins. Issei clenched his fists, wings spread, aura brighter than the moon. I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, the Red Dragon Emperor, and I will protect my friends, my world, and everything I love. The battlefield trembled under the announcement. Stars flickered. Energy waves pulsed across multiple dimensions. The war for infinity had begun, and an even greater enemy loomed on the horizon. The ruins of Ko Academy lay desolate, scarred by the residual energy of the Red Dragon Emperor's awakening. Shattered stone, twisted steel, and scorched earth bore witness to the magnitude of Issei Haida's latent power. Crimson light still pulsed faintly across the battlefield, marking the lingering echoes of his twin dragons' roars. Yet peace was fleeting. From the deep rift in reality above, an unnatural wind swirled, carrying with it shadows that writhed as though alive. They poured into the world, creatures of void chaos and infinite malice, drawn to Issei by the awakening of his Ophis-blooded soul. Zyron emerged first, descending from the rift, black gold armor shimmering with chaotic energy. His eyes glowed with the brilliance of eclipsed stars, scanning the battlefield with a predator's precision. Behind him, the abyssal conclave generals materialized, each an entity older than the world itself. Erebus, the Void Reaver, a shifting, shadowy silhouette able to strike from multiple planes simultaneously. Nyxura, Mistress of Shadows, capable of creating infinite recursive duplicates to ensnare her enemy's perception. Thanatos, the Death Herald, skeletal and horrifying, whose touch could unravel matter and energy alike. Morrigan, the Temporal Huntress, bending localized time to accelerate or reverse attacks, making her strikes unpredictable. Abyssion, the World Breaker, a massive void beast whose mere presence warped dimensions. Oblivion Twins, a pair that could split reality into contradictory layers, tearing physics apart. Child of Ophis. Zyron's voice echoed across dimensions, reverberating in the very air. You awaken as a vessel, raw and untested. I will show you the infinite gulf between potential and mastery. Issei hovered, crimson aura blazing, wings outstretched. Twin dragons of infinite energy circled him, semi-sentient extensions of his will. I will not let you destroy my world, he shouted, voice resonating across space and time. Erebus struck first, phasing through reality to attack from impossible angles. Instinctively, Issei deployed Infinity Warp, striking Erebus simultaneously from multiple dimensions. The Void Reaver staggered, surprised by a force capable of predicting and countering multidimensional strikes. Nyxera enveloped Rias and Aquino in infinite shadows. The battlefield folded into recursive loops, each strike endlessly repeating. Rias countered with power of destruction, annihilating clones as quickly as they formed. Aquino's lightning surged through the void, slicing each illusion with precision. Thanatos advanced on Kaneko and Asia. With each step, matter itself disintegrated. Kaneko moved like a phantom, striking with divine lightning powered by Issei's aura, while Asia's prayers stabilized the local reality, giving her the opening to strike critical blows. Issei felt the battlefield's pressure escalate. Crimson aura flared explosively. Dragonic absolute infinity surged through him, merging boosted gear and Ophis essence. Crimson dragons erupted, moving semi-independently, attacking from multiple angles with impossible precision. Xiron raised a hand, generating a massive distortion of space-time. You manipulate infinity, yet your mind is still human. How long before your resolve crumbles? I'm not just human! Issei roared. Twin dragons merged into eternal dragonic infinity convergence, forming a colossal manifestation of infinite energy. Space warped. Time slowed. Multidimensional strikes tore through the abyssal conclave forces. Erebus fell, staggering under simultaneous attacks. Nyxera's illusions dissolved. Thanatos staggered, Abyssion roared, energy destabilizing the battlefield, but Issei countered with reality rend, striking across multiple planes. Oblivion Twin's paradoxical assaults collapsed under the sheer force of his will. Morrigan accelerated time locally around Rias and Aquino, striking centuries' worth of blows in a single second. Issei projected Ophis essence, creating a temporal stabilization field, allowing them to fight unharmed. Coordinated attacks from the duo and the team shattered their foes' formations. Xiron, recognizing the tide of battle shifting, unleashed Void Infinity Cataclysm, a sphere of concentrated void energy capable of erasing the battlefield. Issei responded with Crimson Infinity Dragons, compressing, absorbing, and redirecting the attack. The resulting shockwave shattered dimensions, flinging abyssal generals back. Even amidst victory, a more terrifying presence stirred beyond the rift. A colossal shadow eclipsed the stars, energy radiating across realms, surpassing even Xiron and the Conclave. Whispers of ancient dragons, chaos beasts, and primordial entities reverberated across dimensions. So, the child of Ophis has awakened. Very well. The era of infinity begins. Issei clenched his fists, crimson aura blazing brighter than the moon. I am Haida Issei, son of Ophis, the Red Dragon Emperor, and I will protect my friends, my world, and everything I love. The battlefield trembled under the declaration. Stars flickered as if acknowledging his rise. Energy waves pulsed across dimensions, signaling the beginning of a war far greater than any ever fought. The Red Dragon Emperor had awakened fully, and this was only the beginning.